All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life.
Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com. Twitter, Facebook Live. Again, we are everywhere. I am Sterling Holmes live in studio. Darren Smith doing it from his home studio. Darren, I'm not going to lie. I expected you in studio today.
Well, that's what I do,
nice
Sterling.
weather.
I mean, well, it's great weather, actually. It actually warmed up, and I thought about coming out there, but I thought to myself, it's Friday. I got a home studio. I can just dial in while I waste the petrol. So, in case you hadn't realized, Sterling, gas is high for a premium vehicle. So, it's almost $3 a gallon. So if I'm going to utilize this this premium gas, it's going to be worth it. And so, not saying that you're not worth it or the show's not worth it, but it's Friday. I plan on going to the casino later on. I'm just going to utilize my gas for good.
You're going to waste your money elsewhere. You're going to lose it someplace else.
Hold on. What makes you think I lost?
Hey, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay, because I haven't played yet, man. Damn, you know what I'm saying? Let your boy get on the crap table or something first before you start trying to call me out.
Okay. I'll let you have that. I trust your craps ability. For how much you talk about it, you can't be losing too much. Okay. I'll finally believe you. A lot to get into today. Want to talk some NCAA basketball. Want to talk some NFL. We do want to give our picks later in the show for NBA and NCAA and the tournament. Starting off, I do want to talk NFL just based on the blockbuster trade that just happened between the 49ers, the Eagles, the Dolphins. If I'm Jimmy G, don't think I'm too comfortable, huh?
No, I mean, if you're Jimmy Garoppolo, you might. I mean, well, you could if New England wants you bad enough. I mean, they may just have to give up a 7th-round draft pick if they want to. Look, they have a lot of money. I think they have about $54 million of cap space available. So it's not like they can't acquire and bring Jimmy Garoppolo back. Now, whether or not that looks good on Cam Newton, who knows? But he's not going to be the quarterback of the future for the 49ers. And look, I mean, if you're the 49ers, you don't know what you're going to get with Garoppolo because he's been too often too injured. And so you don't want to waste another year paying a quarterback $25 million and you don't know what you're going to get from him.
So the deal sent the number 3 pick to the 49ers.
Yeah.
12th pick then was traded to the Eagles. Looks like the Dolphins got the trade the number 3, and they received in return the number 12, a first and third rounder in 2022, and then a first rounder in 2023. I mean, the Dolphins are out here just getting all of these first round draft picks. They're already a good, solid team. Do you love this trade for the Dolphins?
Well, hell yeah. I mean, I really can't go saying the S word. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, now depending on how things luck out with Deshaun Watson in Houston, now you got some draft capital. Well, you got more draft capital, and you can give up 3 first-round picks, and you'll still have first-round picks. Like literally, this is what the Miami Dolphins draft picks look like for the next 3 years, Sterling. In 2021, 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks, and a third-round draft pick. 2022, 2 first-round draft picks, a second and a third. 2023, 2 first-round draft picks, a second and a third. They have 6 first-round draft picks over the next 3 years. And look, there were reports that the Houston Texans were looking to trade Deshaun Watson before the draft, before all this noise has happened over the last couple of weeks with him. If you're the Miami Dolphins, even if it's not Deshaun Watson, you could put something together for the Seattle Seahawks. And if you do that, you could possibly trade them and give them Tua Tagovailoa as well. I mean, I don't know whether or not Seattle will want him, but if Seattle is not going to rely solely on Russell Wilson and his arm, you could bring in Tua Tagovailoa so he doesn't have that type of pressure on him. You got enough running backs, and you're going to be defense heavy, and you got that draft capital. I like where Miami's sitting at because they were already a good team at 10-6 last year, barely missing out on the playoffs. if they decide to, maybe keep Tua and find some more offensive weapons in the draft, or if they, or if there's another quarterback there that they, may decide to, to pick. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before. Just look at Arizona; they went from
Yeah.
from Josh Rosen to Kyler Murray. So it has happened. It can be done, and Miami, they're sitting pretty regardless. And look, I don't like the Miami Dolphin uniforms. To me, I think if you were to switch them like the Bucks did years back, when it's funny, the year they switched their uniforms was the year they won their Super Bowl. And so if I'm Miami, I look at doing that because I hate that orange and teal. But it is Miami. At the end of the day, it's Miami. It's hard to not want to go and live in Miami. But again, with the draft capital that they have, Miami is sitting pretty right now.
I love the Niners saying that Jimmy G's our guy. Yeah, I don't believe that. If the Niners don't draft a quarterback with his number 3 overall draft pick, this would be one of the worst trades you could possibly have. Already, this is looking like a bad deal. I just don't know what the
Oh, a
Niners
bad deal
are
for who?
doing.
A
The
bad.
Niners.
I mean, I don't see. Well,
I mean, you have to draft your quarterback and you have to get it right. If you don't draft the quarterback and you don't get it right with this pick, with the number 3 pick, you mortgaged a lot of your future. You gave away 2 first rounders, a third. I mean, you gave away a lot. So if you don't hit on this draft pick, the future looks bleak.
well, no, I don't disagree with that. With that sentiment, obviously, I mean, you definitely want to hit your draft pick. First time out. The good news for them is that there's at least 5 good quarterbacks coming out. Potentially with the first 5 picks in the draft. Of course, everybody knows about Trevor Lawrence. A lot of people know about Mac Jones winning a national title. Of course, people know about Justin Fields as well. But there's a potential 5 quarterbacks that can go top 5, top 6 picks. And then, look, and be honest, if those 5 quarterbacks go there, then if I'm Miami at number 6, then you know who I'm grabbing? I'm grabbing Devontae Smith to put him with Kyler Murray. And then that second pick, maybe you get you another lineman or something and let the chips fall where they may.
I think Miami has this down where a lot of people wanted them to keep a high draft pick, either to draft a quarterback or to draft one of the top end wide receivers. There's still a lot of good wide receivers at this range. They'll get someone to pair with Tua. And not only that, they have, like you said, all these first round draft picks come up in the near future. They look like a team that is going to be in the playoff hunt and more so for a long time because they have all this young talent getting injected year after year on these rookie contracts that they'll be able to afford to spend at other positions. I mean, Miami is doing this the right way.
No. I agree. I mean, and we talked about it last year when they, after they drafted Tua and just the haul that they had. I mean, they traded Larry Tunsil to the Houston Texans and got 2 first round picks from them, and so I mean, just the capital that they were already receiving. I mean, again, if you're Miami, like you said, they are sitting pretty. This upcoming year, depending on what they're looking for in the draft, and they can continue to sign players in free agency. Looking at from what I see, they still got another $24 million left in the salary cap. Underneath the salary cap where they can spend. So I mean, look, man, Miami. Look, I mean, you can if you're not sold on the quarterback, that's one thing if you're a free agent. But if you are and you believe that Tua can be a superstar, I mean, he played well when he first got his first start, and then maybe kind of fell off a little bit. He did put up some decent numbers against the Kansas City Chiefs, but of course, it was more so their defense than anything else. But if I'm a free agent, I would give Miami a look. I mean, again, no state tax. It is Miami. Um, and they got money to pay people.
If you are the 49ers, they said that Jimmy G is staying. One, do you believe that?
No.
And two, do you think we're going to see a potential Alex Smith Mahomes scenario where they have Jimmy G for this season as the mentor while they have, whether it's Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson as the backup for the entire season, getting reps under Jimmy G. Do you see that as the most likely scenario? What do you see happening?
Well, here's the thing: they have $40 million left underneath the salary cap to play around to fiddle around with now. Um, it depends on what they decide to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Because if they're able to trade him and get his $25 million salary off the books, now you've got potentially 65 million. Again, I'm trying to figure where all this money is going with the salary cap actually, decreasing. But yet they got all this money to play around with. Um, if I'm the 49ers, with the third pick, I'm looking for a franchise quarterback. And like you said, you have to get it right. Now, who's a good fit? I mean that depends on who's look good in their pro days. Whether or not they look at film and see whether or not which college quarterback ran a similar type of West Coast offense to what they did. So would a Justin Fields or a Mac Jones look good in their uniform? I don't know. I mean, maybe Justin Fields if I'm the 49ers, because he can run, he can scramble, he does have a good arm, he does have a big arm. He did play for a big time institution, so it's not like he's going to be adverse to the bright lights. But even let's just say even you get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and somebody takes on that contract, that should mean that they can't be in the running for Deshaun Watson because with that salary cap space, it's not like they can't engineer a trade for him. Now I
Yeah.
don't now I don't know again with what they've traded to Miami. I don't know what that could incur, but if you give up your number three, which actually give up a number three to Houston. Now Houston can maybe draft their franchise quarterback, so send that to Houston and maybe some other picks, and you get Deshaun Watson. Now you can take on that contract, and I mean you still got players, you still got George Kittle there, you still got the running backs. Got some receivers. The defense is still solid. I mean, why not?
I have to say, after looking at how much you can get in return for a top 3 draft pick for something that you think you can land your franchise quarterback, how egregious does it look that the Giants took Saquon Barkley at 2 overall? I mean, that looks so egregious when you look back on. I know hindsight's 2020, but taking
Yeah.
a running back 20 or second overall, I don't care how good someone is at running back. It's running back. When you're looking at what someone can get in return for a potential quarterback, it's kind of mind blowing, isn't it?
But it just depends because you got to remember the Cowboys. I don't think they had initially thought about taking Ezekiel Elliott, but when he was there at number four, I mean he had just led his team to a national title. How could you and look when they picked him, he would have been rookie of the year, but his quarterback, played just as well. So they were both rookies, and they led their team to the best record, to a number one seed in the NFC and the division title. I mean, I get what you're saying about Saquon, and maybe Saquon, he didn't transition as well as Ezekiel did. I just don't want to say looking at it in hindsight that they made a bad deal trying to secure him because he was a I mean I mean you look at his legs. I think of remember who his dad was playing for Penn State. I think he played for Penn State or one of those Big Ten schools. I mean I don't know, sir. I mean that's a tough one to say because in hindsight, I mean we know what has happened, but I'm just thinking about at the time when that pick was made, that probably was the best that they needed to fill a position at that particular time. So
I mean,
it's hard. I don't want to say that it's not that it wasn't a good pick in hindsight, but it's kind of hard thinking about what they were looking for at that particular time when they drafted them.
Josh Allen would have been nice.
Eh,
I mean, just to me, and I guess it's because we know what we know now.
I mean, they
But
could have. But they could have. I mean, but had they drafted Josh Rosen, we'd be like, oh, and then,
sure,
but but we
Daniel
see,
Jones.
but you see, but we see how Josh Rosen's career has turned out. Now he's a backup quarterback, versus, a top 10 overall, draft pick. So I mean, it just every scenario, literally, man. I have to again, it's easy to do this because of what we do, but we also have to keep in mind that you know every situation for every player is not going to turn out the same way. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, what if Saquon was in the same draft class as Ezekiel and the Cowboys drafted Saquon? what the Cowboys have been 13-3 that year.
Same.
What they,
No.
yeah. So yeah, so it just, it's just
I'm just
weird.
saying, Darren, just to me at this point, I think the Saquon draft was influential in the way I don't think we'll ever see a running back get drafted that high anymore. I don't think we're going to see a top 3 running back ever get drafted that early because the value is not there.
At least as a Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah.
No, because even then, no, because you know
No, no,
why?
no. I'm saying no. I don't disagree with that sentiment. I'm just saying worst case scenario that would be the only way I could see someone being a top 3. A running back being in the top 3.
Well,
That's just as close as I can get to it.
if you're a team and you see what guys are getting for potentially game-changing, franchise-altering quarterbacks, they're going to start trading out more and more until the market of quarterback evens out a little bit. If you have a top 3 draft pick and you don't need a quarterback, why would you not trade out? That's my main thought is if you don't need a quarterback and you're a top 3 draft pick, you're trading.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but if it be Sterling, to that point, if you look at just the teams in general, and I'm just looking at it overall right here on my computer. I mean, most of these teams have starting quarterbacks, so you can't really trade out of the first round. I mean, most of these teams have their quote unquote starter or franchise quarterback. I mean, if you look at, I guess if you're in Kansas City, I mean, or if you look at our league, maybe the Denver Broncos. Obviously the Raiders are gonna. Yeah, I guess they decided they're gonna rock with Derek Carr, but the
They
Chargers,
should.
no. But
They
what I'm
should draft someone, though. I mean, if you're the Raiders and you had a chance to get a top 3 career-altering quarterback, you're trading in because you know Derek Carr is a placeholder. You know what you have at Derek Carr, and you know your ceiling. I mean, look at the Chargers. They took a leap of faith. They drafted Justin Herbert when a lot of folks, myself included, said, I don't see him translating. He wasn't great in college. He's too wild. And they took a leap of faith. I think we're going to start seeing more teams take a leap of faith trying to draft the franchise cornerstone at quarterback. I think we're going to see more and more of this because in today's NFL, if you don't have the quarterback, you have no chance of winning a Super Bowl.
I wouldn't lean on a leap of faith because a leap of faith will get will get you unemployed if you draft wrong. I would just rely on the scouting department and hope that the money that you're paying them, they're doing a good enough job so you don't, because again, it's hard. You can't have a franchise quarterback being picked every year because obviously something's not working out with the quarterback that you have. Again, just for the sake of argument, I guess the Giants are going to roll with Daniel Jones. They're all in on him. Philadelphia, they're all in on Jalen Hurts. Washington, I guess they're going to go with Fitzpatrick this year. Maybe they draft.
But
No,
I think they're all in, though. I don't think any of those teams are all in on their guys.
well, I think the Dallas Cowboys are all in with the.
Well, they're all in. But I'm saying of the 3 you listed, Washington, Giants, and Eagles, they haven't given us a whole bunch of indication that they're all in on those guys. I think that they're going to roll the dice this year with those guys. But if they were able to get 1, 2, or 3, or say Zach Wilson is still on the board, you better believe they would go with a Zach Wilson. I think so.
I don't know about that one.
Because who affects a game more? A offensive lineman, defensive lineman, or quarterback? Quarterback is on and involved on every single play. He has the ball in his hands.
Well, I'm with you there, but if you're the Giants and Eagles, you're not you're not going to draft a quarterback. Especially the Eagles, you're not going to draft a quarterback after trading. After trading last year, your quote unquote franchise quarterback, and you drafted a rookie last year to have him become your franchise quarterback. You don't just turn back into the draft just to draft another quarterback. I mean, because because now you really don't have then you really have a quarterback situation. Plus, you just brought in Joe Flacco. So again, why would you have 3 quarterbacks on there that that you can't decide who's going to be your team leader going into the future?
This year's Joe Flacco in 2021, 2022 should not have any decision making on whether or not you draft a quarterback.
Normally, I would agree with you, Sterling, but
he's
this
an
is
insurance
not a
policy
normal
at
year.
best. He's an insurance policy at best and a bad one at that. No,
Tell us
just
how
to me
you
though.
really feel.
I mean, if you're looking at Jacksonville, if you're looking at the Jets, I wouldn't even be surprised if the Jets drafted a quarterback, or if
Well, but
just
also they drafted number 2. So
my point.
hell, they better draft a quarterback. I mean, especially if you're not sold on Sam Darnold.
But
But
that's my point with the Eagles, and that's my point with
but
anyone.
they
It
hold
doesn't
on.
matter
But
who you drafted
they
last
are
year.
sold on Jalen Hurts because they got rid of Carson Wentz for him.
Carson Wentz didn't want to be there. Carson was going. They said that relationship was unsalvageable.
Well, they got rid of the head coach, so I mean, so it could have been salvaged because the head coach is no longer there. And at the end of the day, Carson, Carson Wentz, if Jeffrey Lurie wanted to keep him, he'd be kept, and but Carson Wentz wanted to be the starting quarterback. The problem is he couldn't beat out Jalen Hurts any longer. That's just why they got rid of him because he couldn't. He couldn't beat him out.
The only team in the top 9 I could see not drafting a quarterback or that shouldn't are the Bengals. That's the only team. Jacksonville, Jets, Niners, Falcons, Dolphins. I wouldn't be opposed to the Dolphins at least tried, because if you're not 100% sold on Tua and you still have a Zach Wilson on the board, and Zach Wilson turns out to be a stud and Tua doesn't, that's going to be a loud call. That would be a terrible miss if you had a chance. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Unless you're 100% sold on who you have at quarterback in today's NFL, I think we're going to see more teams start swinging at guys at quarterback.
I don't see Detroit or Carolina drafting a quarterback, especially Detroit, not after what you gave up to get Jared Goff. I think you try to see what he can do for you in that team. I mean, not like you've been, consistently going to the playoffs or the Super Bowl. So you just, you ride with what you got as it relates to Detroit. Carolina, I mean, again, they're trying to be all in for Deshaun. So I can't. So unless for some reason they're not able to pull off a trade prior to the draft, I don't see them drafting a quarterback. Look, Bridgewater. Bridgewater wasn't exactly bad last year. He just,
But he's not your franchise. He's not your guy. You know for a fact. You know what his ceiling is. Same thing with Jared Goff. You know their ceilings. You know what you're going to get. I mean, if we're being honest here, do you think Teddy Bridgewater would lead the Panthers to a Super Bowl?
I mean, there's a lot of these teams I don't. I mean, hell, Joe Burrows is not going to lead Cincinnati to a Super Bowl. So I mean,
not yet. But couldn't you see Joe
not
Burrow
even not
being
yet.
a difference? Well, I mean, look at this team. I'm saying, do you think in the future Joe Burrow could lead a team to a Super Bowl? I think he could. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater could.
Okay, so basically, you want 32 teams that have 32 franchise quarterbacks.
No, but I think you have to make the leap of faith, and you have to try. Is my point. I think that we're going to see more teams drafting quarterbacks who in the past would have gone maybe 15th that may now be going 7th. That's what I'm saying. I think teams will start doing that more and more often.
Do you see Tampa Bay drafting a franchise quarterback anytime soon?
Yeah, I think they'd probably try and draft a quarterback sometime soon. Tom Brady's
No.
43.
No. I said a franchise quarterback.
Try. Every team tries. Mahomes sat out a year. Aaron Rodgers sat out like 3 seasons.
I
think we'll start seeing teams do that. I mean, it's just the way the NFL is going. Whether we like it or not, that's the way the NFL is trending. And it's a pass-first league. You got to get the most important position figured out if you want a chance. And again, whether or not you think it's right or wrong, that's just the way the league is trending.
When I look at that top 9, top 10, as you said, now, if anything, I would like to see teams maybe trade into the top 10, i.e., the Chicago Bears, i.e., maybe the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Other teams, though.
Steelers.
I was just going to take that right out of my mouth. Yeah, the Steelers. Then, of course, I forgot the Jacksonville Jaguars. They do have two first-round picks because one of them was from Jalen Ramsey. So they had the first and 25th pick. So, but if you look at it, most of the teams they have. Of course, if you look at the teams in the playoff, they generally already have their quote-unquote franchise quarterback, unless it's a team that just happens to just get into the playoffs or stumble into the playoffs. But if you look at it, Cleveland is a perennial lottery pick, but this time around, they lucked up and got to the playoffs, so they won't. So they pick 2026 this time around. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, those are good positions to be in because you do have your quote unquote starting quarterback. But those other teams do have quarterbacks and do have starting quarterbacks. They're just not as good as those teams that made to the playoffs because, again, it ain't just your quarterback that you got to rely on. You know, the quarterback has to throw to, to someone similar. To a wide receiver and hope you have a defense on the other side that can keep teams from scoring. That's what, and to be quite honest, I know we're talking about starting quarterbacks, whatever, but a lot of these teams need to improve on their defensive side of the ball because they can't stop teams from scoring. That's the other reason that they need to be looking at, besides the franchise quarterback.
I say a lot of this to say this puts Kansas City, I think, in a better position at 31 than in years past. The reason why former second round quarterbacks may be getting drafted earlier on, and that leaves other positions in need for teams like Kansas City who have the position already figured out. I think this helps Kansas City.
Well, again, I fall back to the scouting department because you got to remember Dak Prescott was found in the fourth round. Russell Wilson was found in the third round. Tom
Sure.
Brady was found in the sixth round. I just think it's going to fall on your scouting department to get things right because again, Andy Reid and company, they have to worry about who they're going to be playing and stuff on the field. The scouting department only has to worry about watching tape and making sure saying that the players that they're looking at fits into the system that the head coach of that particular team is running. And if you can find a player that's in college that kind of lines up to what you're doing, you know then you can justify why they're paying you. Look, some of these teams, and I used to think that the Dallas Cowboys drafted well, but as we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years, hadn't outside of Dak and Ezekiel and maybe Tony Pollard. I mean, they haven't really drafted well to where the players are still on the team. The Chiefs, at least, they get a lot out of them. They get a lot out of them for cheap too. So that's another reason why they're able to spend the money that they are in free agency.
Final question before we go to break, and then we'll talk some NCAA on the other side of it. How much pressure is on Brett Veach to get it right with some of his former high round draft picks not necessarily playing out and being great draft picks? I mean, like we know about McColl and having DK drafted after him. You know, we know about Breland Speaks. We know about some of his early round draft picks haven't necessarily hit, even though he actually has been fairly solid in later rounds. How much pressure is on him this year to get the first couple round draft picks right?
Well, depending on what they're looking for, I mean, I would hope that they're not looking to draft a running back in the first round again.
If they do, I don't know if I'll ever watch football again.
Well, I know you're being facetious because I know you will. I know you will because you'll have to be making bets
I
for me.
know, but I'll be screaming at the TV even more than I did last year.
Now that I would do. I would have to keep from throwing this Lombardi through my television. Um, yeah, I mean he needs to get it right, but we also got to make sure that whoever he's betting on fits the need of the team. We keep saying that the Chiefs need a left tackle or the need lineman, and whether or not, they draft a first round lineman that can come in and start right away, or sign a veteran to come in, Russell Okung or Villanueva out of Pittsburgh. I mean, maybe they can give someone of that ilk. Uh, is he under pressure? No, I think he's bought enough goodwill, but but a lot of the luster and the shine will come off if said draft pick doesn't pan out and
Yeah.
and doesn't contribute because like you said, I mean we have rookies outside of Lucas Niang contribute, and that's the one thing that I can say for Kansas City, like their draft picks make the team and they also contribute. So it may not be to our liking, but I mean, expectations for what you're getting paid, the expectation for a rookie, late draft pick, fifth, sixth, seventh round that's playing on the field, you can't have the same expectations of him that you would have for Patrick Mahomes or someone else drafted in the first round. So.
100%. He's done very well on those late round draft picks. L'Jarius Sneed, Rashad Fenton. He's done a good job getting some dudes. Even Michael Dana. I mean, he did a fine job. A fifth rounder.
And look, and let's not, because I know you talked about some of his first through third, but the safety. Oh gosh, my guy
Juan Thornhill.
Look, Juan Thornhill played well his rookie season.
Yeah.
He just blew out. I mean, that's a football play. He got injured, and I thought he came back well and played well. He might have been slowed down, but he hasn't been a bust. So I don't want to say.
Agreed.
I don't want to put that and say that all of his picks haven't hit. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Lucas Niang until he comes and plays. But Juan Thornhill, I do want to make sure that that we don't include him in the conversation that Brett's early picks haven't panned out, because he balled out. He started. I mean, he was the first rookie to start in a Steve Spagnuolo defense, I believe. So
yeah, he was fantastic, and I agree. I think it took him a while last year to knock the rust off, and once he did, he really turned it around and looked like the Juan Thornhill from his rookie season. So I do agree that he hit on that Juan Thornhill pick. But we do have to take a quick break. This is Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
Have you ever turned down a project because you didn't have the right trucks at the right time? With City Rent a Truck as your fleet solution, that will never happen again. They give you the freedom to grow your business without fleet limitations, leaving no project behind. Don't pay 100% of the cost of ownership for a vehicle you use 50% of the time. The flexible rental and lease options allow you to only pay for what you need. Visit cityrentatruck.com to see the large selection of work trucks and vans and request an online quote today.
Space Camper Cosmic IPA is a juicy hot blast of flavor. Citrusy and balanced, this is an IPA with a mission: to save the Earth, because it's the only planet with beer. You might not know it, but Boulevard Brewing Company has been passionate about taking care of our planet for decades. Between their zero-waste brewery to Ripple Glass, Boulevard has been making great beer you can feel great about. Stock up on Space Camper Cosmic IPA today. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
A KC tradition since 1957, Hereford House is excited for you to experience their updated spring menu. Their amazing team of chefs developed a menu that includes guest favorites like their country fried chicken and prime rib, while also adding exciting new options like steakhouse blue chips, sesame avocado cod, jumbo shrimp spring salad, chicken salad lettuce wraps, and bruschetta chicken. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservations.
How does your website get noticed among the 1.7 billion on the internet? At DigiLagoon, we've been making companies stand out since 1995. This past year, more people have used the web than ever before to find exactly what they wanted. When was your site's last facelift? Is it mobile friendly? Does it have an SEO strategy? Is your social media presence designed to drive traffic to your site? DigiLagoon is the answer to all these questions and all your creative and marketing needs. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a cash-out refi? It's using the equity in your home to pay off high-interest credit cards. Paid it off! Yes! I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. With mortgage rates at a record low 1.875%, you can save hundreds each month and skip your next two payments. You'll pay nothing out of pocket, and we never charge for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan. And remember, our local lending experts speak mortgage and love translating for our customers. Eliminating debt means putting your dreams back on the table today.
Updated bathroom?
Updated bathroom and a pool table?
Don't push it, Rick.
Get started with our fast and easy zipline tool at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.913% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit. JLB Corporation, 8595 College Boulevard, Overland Park, Kansas.
Watch out, baby.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, Twitter, Facebook Live. I can't let the lyrics go too long in this song. It gets nervous, Darren.
Hey, man, it's nothing like listening to this with Juvie, but it's also a cool thing when you get to drive Juvie back to his hotel as well and rap with him as well. So shout out
Yeah.
to Juvie.
Did you this song?
Well, I was at the concert. I mean, it's funny. I remember I was watching the Blacklist or something on television last. This was 2 years ago before the pandemic started, and my guy at the newspaper was like, "Hey, Darren, man, you got your Escalator or your Mercedes?" I'm like, "I got both. Which one you need?" Man, if we can, man, if you can bring the Mercedes, man, they got to get Juvie back to the airport and to the hotel tonight after the show. I was like, "What you calling me for?" Man, I don't know, man. They need somebody to take them. Can you do it? Like, sure. So he's like, all right, man, but come on down to the Municipal Auditorium. All right, so I come down there, pull up. You know what I'm saying? They let me in back. They let me pull in into the backstage area with my vehicle. And next thing get my little credential, my little pass. And I'm eating the food, eating Juvie's food, and out there at the concert, and people recognize me like Darren, and females trying to back that thing up on me out there, and I'm like, hey, stage is that way, not over here. And so it was cool, man. And then after the concert, Juvie, you know, gives me a little, as we call it in the community, a little love token, a little love offering, what I'm saying, for taking him back to his hotel. Plus, we got the picture and stuff. I did post it on Facebook, whatever. So, people know I don't be talking about it. I live the life I talk about.
Darren doesn't talk about it; he bees about it, huh? Is that what you're
Facts.
saying?
I mean, everybody know me. Know that's how I roll.
Going to the NCAA March Madness, the tournament, a lot of upsets. First game started. I'm stoked for tomorrow, man. I am stoked. First game, Oregon State, Loyola Chicago.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm going with Oregon State just so I ain't got to hear about Sister Jean. So
Oregon State, they've been on a heater, winning the Pac-12,
yeah,
beating a phenomenal Oregon team to get to and then almost beating Colorado. And then now they're playing a very hot Loyola team. The over-under is actually only at 125, which is extremely low, but neither of these teams are super high scoring.
I'm not sure because what was the score? Because Oregon State knocked off Oklahoma
Typically.
State. Yeah, but
Oklahoma State didn't have their best out in that game. Who do you have in this one? Are you actually going with Oregon State, or is that just a you're going against Sister Jean?
no, I'm going with Oregon State all day.
Really?
Yeah.
Dog, I am
And
going
trust me, I really don't want to hear about Sister Jean this weekend, which I know that's all we're going to be hearing. So, yeah.
Well, I'm going with Loyola. They look too good. Cameron Krutwig was phenomenal. He gave it to Kofi Coburn, who is an NBA
Hold on,
prospect.
man, you just can't say Oregon State was looking good. But Loyola was looking good. Like if both teams are looking good.
Both teams are looking good, but Loyola is looking Loyola to me looks like they could be a Final Four team. Oregon State seems like they are on a fluky hot run. Loyola looks like this is what they are. That's the reason why.
Sister Jean and her prayers not getting through Saturday. So
Cameron Krutwig will though. I mean that dude is phenomenal.
Okay, we disagree on this one. Now,
yeah, well, you and
now
me, we're gonna throw some on it. You want to throw a little vending machine bet on this bad boy? I'm confident in this one.
Okay,
I'm confident in Loyola.
That's fine. Yeah, we can do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, next game, Baylor, Villanova. Villanova, a team who was banged up heading into March Madness. A lot of people had them getting upset first round by Winthrop. Baylor pretty much been the second best team all year behind Gonzaga. How do you see this one shaking out?
Yeah, it's hard. I haven't watched Villanova much this year. I don't think they played Kansas, so I'm going to go with Baylor. I think Baylor is starting to click on their cylinders. I think what works for them is that them like other teams survived the scares last week, and so now I think that the talent will outweigh what's on the what's on the court, and I think Baylor just overall has a better overall team than Villanova. So I'm going with Baylor in this game.
I'm with you. I just think Baylor is the second best team. They have been all season, and I think the talent will shine through. And you're right. I think sometimes these teams, once they get that scare of, oh my gosh, we almost just blew it to a 13 seed or something like that. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, let's settle down. Let's come out focused and get our bleep together. And I think Baylor does that. Oral Roberts, Arkansas. Does the old Bobby boys, do they keep it going? The 15 seed, do they keep it up?
No, no. I again, just as I talked about, I just think that the talent, once you start getting down to these, where all the upsets and teams who didn't prepare and stuff like that, once that shakes loose, I think and you get the scares out the way. Again, I just think the better team, overall team, better coaching starts to seep through. I think Arkansas pulls it out because of that.
Yeah, I watched a lot of SEC basketball this year, obviously being a
Mhm.
Mizzou fan, but just in general, I like Arkansas. They play very up-tempo, fast-paced. Oral Roberts does as well, but when you're going with two fast-tempo, high-scoring teams, I like to go with a team that has a little bit more talent. When your sixth man is JD Note, and he's just on an absolute tear right now, I like those odds. Moses Moody is an absolute stud. Desi Stills. I don't like Connor Vanover, but he could be a factor against one of these smaller division teams. They may not have the height to combat his skill set. I'm with you. I think Arkansas wins this game, and I honestly think they roll in this one.
What's the over/under on that game?
158.5, and I truly think it goes. I think it goes over. I could see
Ooh, yeah, that's an
Arkansas.
80-78 type game.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Arkansas put up 90. Like I would not be surprised one bit.
Man, I don't know. It's funny because I'm thinking about the NBA where these teams can score 200 some odd points, and even then they can still go under. And I'm like, good gosh, it costs me $1 here and there. But I might go with the over on that one. Just based off of what you said, the two high scoring teams. I might just use that. But look, that last game, Houston Syracuse, man, where you at on that?
This one's tough. I've gone back and forth a lot. I love great coaches on March Madness, and I really like Jim Boeheim. I think his 2-3 defense always somehow gets a boost. It's really funny because most teams, you see a 2-3 defense, you're like, oh hell yeah, this is just open looks, this is 3-point shots. We're gonna crush it. Except for Jim Boeheim's 2-3 zone. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he gets his guys to buy in year after year. I don't know how teams can't prepare for it, but it works. I'm still going with Houston. I'm still going with Houston. I like the talent they have. I think Quentin Grimes has been phenomenal all season. I'm drawing a blank on I think it was number 3. He had about a hit pointer. I have no idea how he played through it last week, but he really gave his team a boost. And I don't think the other guy they had, who was like 1 of 12 from the field, will have the same type of game. I'm going with Houston this one, but I think if there was to be an upset, this is the game.
Well, I mean, upset. Yeah, I mean, I could see that scenario. Again, I like Houston, and I don't know, maybe it's Lebo kind of convincing me, just how good they are, and they're kind of underneath the radar. But the one thing I know about Vegas, wasn't built on giving away money. So they have Houston above Baylor as the second best team with the chance to win the national title. I'm gonna go with it again. Quentin Grimes played all 40 minutes. I'm not worried about rest. I mean, you had a week, you had a week off or whatever.
Yeah,
so
they're college kids.
yeah,
Come on now.
and so, but I think his leadership and man, I swear, man, it's something about that water in KU where he left and went to the transfer portal, and now he's, I think, playing for Samson down there in Houston.
Hell of a coach too.
Oh yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think he's won a national title too with Kentucky or somebody. Maybe, hopefully I'm not getting them mixed up, but I think he did win a national title. Yeah, I like Houston in this game. Now that I think about it, my best friend works for the college down there, so I probably should have talked to him about getting us tickets.
Dude, you should have.
I just thought about it, man. But
You hear that? That's the ball being dropped by you, Darren.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I can see him at any time. I can get tickets with me. I didn't know Houston was going to be this good. Hell, if I knew that, if I'd have known that, I would have planned better. But again, it wouldn't have mattered because KU got eliminated, so I would have been coming back home anyway.
Sunday's slate of games. Gonzaga, Creighton. I feel like this should be pretty easy for both of us. We're both going with the Gonzaga here.
Yeah, I'm trying. I have to. I'm looking. I'm at to see what the point spread is because
13.
I won money on Gonzaga last week. With I think I bet $50 on them and they won, so I won like 42 off of that, and that was free money. So it wasn't like I won my 50 plus back. So I might do that again. I might go all in on Gonzaga depending on what happens tonight and tomorrow on my NBA picks. But yeah, Gonzaga, of course, they're
They
the
just
only
look,
team I'm sure about.
yeah. I mean, they just look like they're on another level this season. I feel bad for Creighton. I feel bad for anyone who plays Gonzaga because games haven't been close. Except for like BYU, because BYU and Gonzaga play each other like 3 times a season.
Right.
Michigan, Florida State. This one I think is a toss-up. These Sunday slates I think have more outside of Gonzaga have a better chance of toss-ups, and I think this is a toss-up. I'm going with Florida State. I don't like the Big Ten. I can't. Big Ten has let me down the entire March Madness. Florida State's a very athletic team. I like Florida State.
You know what? I think I had for some reason. I didn't have Michigan making it to the Final Four, but because of Juwan Howard winning his second national title, second Coach of the Year award. Look, they've had enough scares, the Big Ten and Michigan, over the last couple of weeks, and of course they lost in the Big Ten tournament. I think Michigan rights the ship. I think they get past Florida State and make it to the Elite Eight. So I think they knock them off.
So there's another one we disagree on. Not a lot we've disagreed on, but there's at least number 2.
Yeah.
Alabama, UCLA. UCLA's been a great story. Just want to say, I told you UCLA was going to go and do well this year. I said UCLA is going to do good. I watched a lot of their games this year. I don't know why I watched Pac-12 this year. I did, but they look like a good team, and I just think that run ends. Alabama's too good.
I was going to say, for someone who watches SEC basketball, you should be high up on Alabama. And like you, I think Alabama won their tournament, didn't they? Didn't they win that SEC tournament?
They ended up beating, because once they beat Mizzou by what was it, 5?
Yeah.
I forget what it ended up being, but yeah, Alabama is just a very good, complete team. They have a lottery pick. They play fast. They score a lot. I really like this Alabama team.
Yeah, Alabama is actually one of my Final Four picks, so I have them winning. I didn't care who they were playing, UCLA or KU or whoever. Next up, of course, we're talking about Oregon and USC. This is Pac-10 matchup. They can, decipher each other out. I am going to go with USC only because of the ass whooping they put on KU last week.
I'm going with Oregon. I've gone with Oregon all season long. They're getting hot at the right time. I think his name's Will Richardson. Has been just an absolute stud after the beatdown they put on Iowa. My bracket's terrible, but I had USC and Oregon in my main bracket actually playing each other. So I'm proud of myself for picking this matchup. I just like Oregon, man. I really like this team. They score a ton of points. The over under was like 100. It was 145. No. What was it? 138?
Yeah.
I would take the over in a heartbeat. I think that's a pretty easy over. But this is, I think, number 3 you and I disagree on.
Yeah, but and the good thing is we don't have to pick quote unquote matchups for the Elite Eight because we can do that on Monday because they play Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So yes.
Outside of Gonzaga, which one's your lock? Outside of Gonzaga, which team are you very confident wins?
Ooh, I would say Baylor.
Dude, I'm going Loyola. I'm high on this Loyola team, and not because of Sister Jean. So don't give me this, Darren. I'm high on the guy that looks like Farva from Super Troopers, Cameron Krutwig. That's who I'm high on right now. That mustache alone is phenomenal.
Yeah, but I would say if not Baylor, then I would say Alabama. I think Alabama would be my second guess or my second choice.
Look at the SEC outplaying the Big 12, baby. We're doing it. SEC is not only a football conference, we're a basketball conference.
Oh, sweet.
I'm kidding. Mizzou, we get knocked out first round is what we do. And the future does not look bright, but that would take up about 3 days worth of talk radio. But Darren, we do have to take a quick break. We'll come back, talk a little bit of NBA as well as some bets. This is Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
Family Leisure is having our Factory Direct sale. Looking forward to spring for patio furniture or a new hot tub? Family Leisure has factory incentives going on now. Do you want to start a new career? Family Leisure is growing and wants you to join our championship family. If you want to be the best, come join the best at Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Now hiring for sales, service, warehouse, Bobcat operators, and more. Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
Awesome! Are you looking for unique sporty clothing and merchandise that makes you stand out from the crowd? Do you love Kansas City sports teams? The Cherry Company designs and creates fashion-forward gear for athletes, avid sports fans, and everything in between. Check out our famous Casey Mahomes denim jacket at cherrysportsgear.com or find it in stores in the Made in KC, Lee Summit, or Plaza location. Sport styles, sport local, sport Cherry. Want a 20% off discount? Mention 810 Sports in store or use code 810 online. Stay on top and visit cherrysportsgear.com today.
Boulevard believes in easy indulgence. That's why they decided to put Tank 7 in cans. Their distinctly American twist on a classic Belgian-style farmhouse ale takes its name from the notoriously unpredictable fermenter where the signature beer's perfect combination of ingredients first came to life. You could call it fate. Their brewers call it Tank 7. Grab a 4-pack and treat yourself to a Tank 7 today. You deserve it. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
All right, listen up. Deck weather is right around the corner. For me, there's no better way to enjoy some free time than relaxing on a beautiful, warm, quiet evening on my deck. And all-weather decks make sure that you have the perfect place to relax or entertain friends. If you thought about replacing that old deck last year but didn't get it done, make that call right now to All Weather Decks. All Weather Decks is a 22-time winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award. Call today, 913-206-1974. Go right now to allweatherdecks.net and relax.
The Kansas City Comets are back in action on Friday night, March 26th at 7 p.m. at Cable Dahmer Arena against the St. Louis Ambush for Game 1 of the MASL playoffs. Kansas City Comets soccer is fast, furious, high-scoring action for the entire family. And parking is always free at Cable Dahmer Arena. And this season, all seats are socially distanced for fan safety. Get your playoff tickets today for the Kansas City Comets versus the St. Louis Ambush on Friday, March 26th by calling 888-9-COMETS or by visiting Ticketmaster.com.
With spring approaching, it brings new sounds. Birds chirping and dripping icicles. KC will be in full bloom soon. What better time to get outdoors? Your hometown friends at Bushnell are here, and we want you to enjoy this time of year and share your passion for the outdoors. Camping, target shooting, hunting, or heading out to the ballpark. Bushnell has what you need to get outside and enjoy the spring season. Visit the Bushnell Factory Outlet or check out Bushnell.com to see the latest assortment in binoculars, rifle scopes, rangefinders, and more.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, Twitter and Facebook Live. Darren, I don't know if you watched any NBA last night, but the Sixers and the Lakers, Dwight Howard getting into it with Montrezl Harrell. Did you see the quick trigger finger on the referee throwing Dwight Howard out of the game?
No, actually, I was watching the Warriors versus Sacramento game. I had money on that game. I didn't feel like dealing with that.
Yeah. I had money on last night's game and I won. It was easy money. Sixers minus 5.5. I go, that's childish. Of course I'll take that.
But they win by 5 or 7?
8.
8. Okay.
Dwight Howard and Montrezl Harrell getting into it all game, or a first quarter at least.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight Howard just blocks the bleep out of Harrell. Harrell's not too happy. Harrell falls down on the ground. You know, Dwight's doing his thing. Dwight scores on a tip-in, end of the quarter. And they're walking to their respective benches, and I'm just looking at the TV going, Dwight Howard's going to walk over and bump Harrell. He's going out of his way right now. He's about to just bump chest with him. Of course Dwight does. and the referee already has given him a technical earlier in the game, just tosses him. Shaq's not too happy about it, but are you sometimes surprised at the quick ejections that referees give players? Because no one's paying to see the refs. You pay to see the players. Are you surprised sometimes at this?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the history of the player. I mean, you look at Draymond Green. I mean, he has a quick history of getting tossed, but hell, he cries. He cries every time you blow the whistle. So, refs aren't trying to hear that. If you're Dwight Howard, I mean, you're coming off the bench. Really, nobody's paying to see you for real anymore. To me, to be quite honest, I think he was enjoying that ring so much he wanted to get kicked out to go back and play with, put that ring on and start, going on Instagram or something. And
if if you're a Lakers fan, how upset are you at Danny Green? Danny Green was brutal all playoffs long, and then of course he just drops 28 on your head in this game.
Well, here's the thing. It's funny because I think Shannon Sharp was talking about how Danny Green can hit a 3-point shot for every team except for the Lakers. And so,
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, man. I can't remember if they played tonight or not. I don't think they do.
The Lakers, I think the Lakers play.
The Cavaliers.
The
They play the
Cavaliers,
Cavs. Yeah. So, again, you've got me on this new bet site that you're on. I like the fact that now I can build player parlays, and so again, I talked about I had some of the game last night, and what's interesting is that players, I don't like where they don't, where they don't let you know who's playing until like right before the game. So like I'll make my picks early in the day. So like Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard didn't play. Now, granted, they just void those particular odds out, and you do what you do. But yeah, I don't like that too much. But I do enjoy the fact that I can build a parlay across instead of just focusing on one game where you have to pray that everything works out for you. Still
Darren,
pray, but
you degenerate over here. You degenerate.
Oh yeah. Because you and I are gonna talk this evening before these games start. So, because we'll make
I know I will get that text, and I can't wait for it. Darren, this was fun. Great week. This was Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM. You and I got a couple of vending machine bets, so let's hope March Madness goes my way. We'll be back live in studio on Monday. Until Monday.